Pisces. This is going to be your December 2019 to January 2020 reading. And this reading will go about halfway through January. Because the channel is a year old, I'd like to go back to a spread that I used at the very beginning of the channel, and we'll see what it's looking like for you. Pisces, I know 2020 was a year for you where you really felt like a lot of things were standing still. And something like this just came up for Gemini as well, so always check your moon sign, your rising sign. And you were really looking to take back that power. You really wanted to be the person in charge. If this is business, maybe you were looking for a higher title. You felt like you were doing a lot of the work, and you wanted to be recognized, or you wanted to take over more responsibility. If this was a relationship, you know, you may have felt like you wanted to exert more power in the relationship, like you'd been laying back for a while and you were ready to start making more of the big decisions, but taking them over. If you were a student, maybe you wanted to take on more of a workload in some instances, but just classes or situations where you could do more of a hands-on and have people start to recognize where your specialties were. You may have been feeling also like you were really trying to show a more generous side of yourself, and that would bring you into this better role, better side of yourself, and that you had really made a great effort to kind of rise above maybe some old and unpleasant habits so that you could be your best self. But a lot of money here. And I think in the end, when you got to the point where it was really time to make that transition and take it to the next level, you were a little bit confused about how you would get there. That, or you had two options presented to you. Again, this could have been two people in a relationship. Maybe you had two offers, you had two job offers, you had two people saying, let's go start a company. And so you wanted to do all of these things, and you had two offers, and you were really struggling because you were thinking, whatever I do from here on in, this affects my life in a really big and important way. Whether you just sat and did nothing, or you made a choice between these two things, it seemed that it did not go the way you thought it would. Because you just sort of had 1 foot in and 1 foot out of the water. You didn't go in all the way. And whether that was the reason, because you weren't fully committed, or because you chose one that at the time seemed like a good idea, but it just didn't work out, that's what wound up coming. And you wound up right back at the stage you were in, where you said, I'm no further now than I was. And you may have had people telling you it's not a good decision, but you went ahead anyway. So here you are at the end of the year, where another opportunity is being presented to you, or this could be something in your past that's still available for you, and you are still focused on the things that you did. You're still thinking, I should have. You're still thinking, I really want to get those things back because they seem difficult, and they seem like a challenge, and that's really what I like because I feel like I've earned it. Instead of taking the easy way. In your opinion, if nothing's for free, if it's easy, it must not be of very much value. But that's not in fact true. In this case, in 2020, I think if you cannot get it in your mind that easy doesn't necessarily mean wrong, you could potentially have some problems. Now the other thing I'm seeing for some of you is there was a situation in love where you were reaching for someone who was either very high socially, or perhaps they came from a family who had money, and you were really dumping all of your resources into trying to get this person's attention. To the point where it was hurting you. There was just something about this person, though. They lit up your world, they made you excited. And it's not necessarily the right way to go. Either that situation was presented to you, or it will be, and this is the path you're on heading into 2020. And I would suggest rethinking that situation for those of you that it applies to. That's only for some of you. For some of you, you're really just thinking, yeah, you are your own worst enemy, Pisces. You have to get out of your own way. You're just turning the same information over and over and over in your mind. So, I think for the beginning of the year, you really need to clear your mind, get all of these ideas out of the way. These old ideas. You have the tunnel that talks about opportunities. It talks about a brighter future. You need to stop worrying about what happened in the past, and if there is a person in front of you who really requires you to drain your finances to get their attention, I wouldn't do that, because right now you're not in the right state to do that. We have not the right time, so I think we can put that there. We have reconsider, I think we can put that there. We have trust and yes, which I think fall under the category of people who need to understand that things will fall into place when they are ready to fall into place. And your job is to go ahead and understand that an easier option may be something you can trust in and go forward with. As far as these other people, where there's a person here who seems far out of your social or financial position, and you are really trying to present a false self to these people, or one that you can't really maintain, I would not go forward with that for 2020. Pisces, thank you so much. Have a good year. We'll talk to you soon.